Hello friends, welcome to Science with Savi. I hope everyone is doing great and in very high spirits. So I'm back again with the second part of the topic which we started in the last class. We started with nutrition, which is there in class 10 NCERT science book, lesson number 6, life processes. So in the last class, we did a lot about nutrition. We studied what is nutrition, nutrients, nutrition in plants, modes of nutrition. So today I have back again with the second part of nutrition, and in today's class the topics which I will be covering will be nutrition in animals. Yes, we will only see nutrition in animals today. We will understand how the nutrition in animals goes on in different steps, and we will also see the nutrition in two very simple organisms, amoeba and parameecium. So children, let's quickly start the class. As we already studied about animals, that animals are heterotrophs. They cannot prepare their own food, so they have to be dependent upon others for food. They generally consume plants and animals as food. So depending upon the kind of food habit the animals have, we can divide them into three basic categories. So one are the herbivores, the carnivores and the omnivores. You're very much familiar with these terms, I know, but I'll quickly just say, few things about them. So herbivores are those animals which consume only plant, okay? They will eat only plants. Like we have so many herbivore animals around us. We have cows, buffaloes, goats, okay? So they are completely herbivores. They eat only plants. Second comes the carnivores, animals like tiger, cheetah, jackal, wolf. They are carnivores because they eat only animals. They will not consume plants. They will eat only animals. And the third kind are the omnivores, like we human beings, crows, all these are omnivores. That is, they can consume both plant and also animals. So depending upon the kind of animals eat, kind of food the animals eat, they can be divided as herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Nutrition in animal is basically holozoic kind of nutrition. If you remember, we studied the mode of nutrition. That is the process or the way in which the organism is obtaining food from the environment. And we studied three kinds of modes of nutrition. If you remember, we discussed in the last video. Those children who have not seen that video, I am sharing the link in the description box. Please go to nutrition part 1 through the link in my description box and go through the video. Okay, it will be very much helpful to understand this class in a better way. So let me come back to the topic. We studied about holozoic kind of nutrition, that is the nutrition in which the organism intake the food and the digestion takes in and absorption takes in inside the body of the organism, and they have a proper digestive system. So animals undergo holozoic kind of nutrition, and this takes place in 5 major steps. These 5 major steps are very, very important. The first step in holozoic nutrition is ingestion. As the name suggests, ingestion means intake of food, okay? The process by which we are taking the food inside the body of the organism. And when we are taking the food inside the body of the organism, ingestion also includes, chewing the food, churning the food, swallowing the food. So all these parts come in ingestion. And depending upon the size of food which we are taking, we can, divide organism broadly as microphagy and macrophagy, okay? So macrophagy are those organisms which intake microscopic organisms like amoeba and parameecium. They are eating microscopic, plants and animal cells. And macrophagy includes the higher organisms which are eating larger food substances, which are consuming larger food particles, okay? They come under macrophagy. So in ingestion, it is basically the intake of food. So after ingestion comes a very important step, which is digestion. That is the food which we have taken. That food has, a complex structure. If you remember, when we studied in cellular respiration, we studied that the food which we are taking has some complex nutrients in them. And during the process of digestion, these complex nutrients are broken down into simple, form, which our body can easily absorb. So that important step is digestion, where the food is broken down into simple form, and then it is, it can be easily absorbed by the body. So digestion goes on by the help of some digestive enzymes which are secreted by the various organs which are present in the animals. So second important step is digestion. So first was ingestion, the food has been taken in. Second, digestion, the food has been digested and broken into simple form. Third form is the absorption. So what happens in absorption? The food which is digested, that is, it has been broken down into a simple form, and then it reaches to all the cells and tissues of the body, and the body absorbs all these simple form into it. Fourth point is assimilation. Assimilation means using these absorbed food material by the body. That is, once the food has been turned into simple form, the body will absorb it, and then the body will start using it for various life processes, for producing energy, for growth, for multiplication, for reproduction, so many other life processes. This food will be used up. That comes under assimilation. The last part in the step of nutrition is digestion. That is all the food which we take, okay? Our body doesn't uses all the food, and the food which is left over and the food which is being used, it also releases some byproducts. So these byproducts are toxic, and if they remain in our body or in the body of an organism, they will create trouble. So they have to be removed out of the body. So this comes under digestion. So these 5 steps in nutrition is very important: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and the last one is digestion. Now, digestion in heterotrophic organisms like animals can be further divided into 2 types. One is intracellular and other is extracellular. This is very important. You need to understand it. So let me come to the first one, that is intracellular. When I say intra, means something inside, okay? So intracellular means a digestion which is taking place inside the cell. That is, all the 5 steps of digestion which we discussed now are taking place inside the cell. This intracellular kind of digestion takes place in very simple organisms like amoeba and Paramoecium. They do not have a digestive tract or an alimentary canal, and the all process of digestion is carried out inside the cell only. Okay, that is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, digestion, everything is going on inside the cell, and they do not have a definite or well-formed digestive tract. Now, the second kind of digestion in holozoic animals are extracellular digestion. This happens in all higher forms of organisms like we, human beings, other animals, other form of animals. So here what happens, they have a well-defined and a proper digestive tract, and the digestion takes place outside the cell. That is, there are definite, there are specific organs which are meant for digestion. So this kind of digestion is called extracellular digestion. So now let's come and discuss the most important topic of today, is that how nutrition goes on in amoeba. So before going into that, let us talk about amoeba. That what is amoeba? Amoeba is a unicellular organism. It is a very simple form of organism. Before understanding any topic, any process, it's very important to understand that how that process is going on in the simplest form. So the simplest form of organism is amoeba. It is made up of a single cell, okay? The whole body has only a single cell, and it is microscopic. That is, you cannot see with your naked eye. You can see an amoeba only through a microscope. Now, where is the amoeba found? The amoeba is a freshwater organism. It is found in the ponds, lakes and puddles, okay? Now, this amoeba, the very important thing is that it does not have a definite shape. The shape keeps on changing because of the formation of some protoplasmic projections which are called the pseudopodia. You will see in the figure here, it has various pseudopodia. Pseudo means false. Whenever you get a word pseudo, pseudo means false, and podia means feet. So these are called the false feet or pseudopodia. These pseudopodia not just helps the amoeba in movement, moving from one place to another, but they also play a very important role in taking the food inside the body, okay? So we will come to it when we will be talking about the nutrition. So first understand that amoeba is a unicellular organism. It is found in the fresh water. We cannot see the amoeba. It is microscopic, okay? You need a help of a microscope to see the amoeba. And what does the amoeba eat? Okay, when we are talking nutrition, we need to know that what is the food of amoeba. The amoeba eats the microscopic, organisms like microscopic plant cells, algae, fungi, all these which are present in the water, the amoeba eats. So now we will understand that how the process of nutrition goes on in amoeba. So first let's see the structure of the cell. What are the constituents? What are the parts inside the cell of the amoeba? So if we see the cell of the amoeba, as you see in the picture also, you will find that it has a cell membrane, it is surrounded by a cell membrane, it has a cytoplasm, and it has a centrally placed nucleus. Okay, there is a nucleus. The nucleus controls all the working of the cell. Now in the cytoplasm you also find few food vacuoles which are floating around. So these food vacuoles contain the food which the amoeba has consumed, or it has taken inside the body. So the food is there in the food vacuoles, and you also find some lysosomes inside. These lysosomes are very important. You find some lysosomes. What is there in the lysosome? These lysosomes have digestive enzymes in them. These digestive enzymes which help in the digestion of the food. So these digestive enzymes are present in the lysosomes which float in the cytoplasm of the amoeba. And also you find some contractile vacuoles in the cytoplasm. These contractile vacuoles help in balancing the water content in the cell, and they also play a very important role in excretion of the waste, okay, on removing the waste. So this is all about the structure of the amoeba. I hope this must be clear. It is surrounded by a cell membrane, it has a cytoplasm, nucleus, there are lysosomes which contain the digestive enzymes, there are food vacuole, and there are the contractile vacuoles. So now let's come and see how the nutrition goes on in amoeba. You will find it's very surprising and also very interesting that when we studied the 5 steps of nutrition in animals, all these 5 steps goes on in amoeba too. Yes, amoeba is very microscopic and minute, but the amoeba also undergoes nutrition in 5 steps. So we'll discuss all the 5 steps one by one. The first step in nutrition of amoeba is ingestion, that is intake of food. So how does the amoeba take the food inside? Since the amoeba does not have organs like us, so what helps the amoeba in intake of food? These are the pseudopodia. As soon as the amoeba senses the food around itself, it stretches and extends the pseudopodia and encircles, it starts surrounding the food with its pseudopodia. So these pseudopodia form a circle around the food and they completely cover the food from both the pseudopodia. So they take the food inside by extending the pseudopodia around the food. So this process by how it is, using the pseudopodia to take the food inside is also known as phagocytosis. It is also called phagocytosis. So with the help of phagocytosis, it takes the food inside. And when the food enters the cytoplasm of the amoeba, with the help of pseudopodia, it engulfs the food and takes the food inside the cytoplasm. It fuses with the food vacuole and it forms the phagosomes. So what happens? This completes the first step of ingestion. Now we come to the next step, which is digestion. So what is digestion, which we studied in steps of nutrition? That is the food which has been taken inside the body will be broken down into the simple form. Okay. So as we studied that lysosomes are present in the cytoplasm of the amoeba, and these lysosomes contain the digestive enzymes. So what happens? The phagosome which has been formed, that is when the food has gone inside, it fuses with the food vacuole and it forms phagosome. Now this phagosome again fuses with the lysosome and it is called as the phagolysosome. Okay, so the food phagosome and the lysosome come together and they are called as a phagolysosome, and inside the phagolysosome, the digestive enzymes of the lysosome, they act on the food and they convert the complex food structures into simple form. So now the second step, which is digestion, takes place in amoeba. That is, the food has been converted into the simple form. So now we come to the third step, which is absorption. So once the food has been converted into the simple form, the food is absorbed by the cytoplasm and it reaches all the part of the cytoplasm. This comes under absorption. So next step, the fourth step is assimilation, that the food which has been absorbed by the cytoplasm is used up by the cell for various other processes, for multiplication, for the growth, okay, for obtaining energy. So the fourth step, assimilation, is also done there. Now the fifth step is the egestion, that is removing the waste product. So whatever waste which has been, synthesized by the cell after, absorbing the food. So all these waste are poured down into the contractile vacuole, which also contains some excess of water inside it. So these contractile vacuole gets completely swelled up, because of the entry of the waste product inside them, and they start moving towards the outer side of the, they start moving towards the membrane of the amoeba, and then the membrane ruptures and all the waste products are removed. So all the 5 steps of nutrition goes on in amoeba too. So it is a very important topic. Please see it very nicely, note down on the important points, because it is very, very important from examination point of view also. So with this, we come to the next topic, which is nutrition in Paramoecium. So in Paramoecium also, the nutrition goes on in the same way. It involves all the 5 steps. Paramoecium, like amoeba, is also a microorganism. It is unicellular and it is found in stagnant water, which has, decaying vegetable matter. And what is different in Paramoecium is that we saw that amoeba doesn't have a definite shape, but Paramoecium has a definite shape. It looks like a slipper, so it is also called at times as a slipper animalcule. And the Paramoecium, it feeds on the microscopic plant and animal cells. Okay, so the food of Paramoecium is almost the same like that of amoeba, and the process is almost similar. What difference is there is that the Paramoecium has a buccal, it has a mouth cavity. There is a cavity which acts as a mouth cavity through which the food is taken inside. In case of amoeba, it was not like that. It will extend the pseudopodia from any part of the, of the cell, and will take the food. But Paramoecium has a definite mouth cavity. Now, Paramoecium on the outer side is surrounded by some protoplasmic projections which are called the cilia. These cilia, move forward and backward, and these cilia not just help in intake of food, but they also help in the movement of Paramoecium. So these cilia play a very important role, and they help in taking the food and directing the food towards the cavity, which is the mouth cavity of the Paramoecium. So once the food enters the mouth cavity of the Paramoecium, the ingestion is over. Then it will mix up and fuse with the food vacuole, the same like amoeba, where the digestion will take place. The digestive enzymes will act on it, and after digestion, the food will be broken down into simple form. Then the third step will go on, that is absorption. The food will be absorbed in the cytoplasm, and it will reach all the different parts of the cytoplasm. Then the fourth step, which is assimilation, that is the food will be utilized by the Paramoecium for obtaining energy and other life processes. And the last part, which is egestion, that is the food, the waste material which has been formed, after the entire process of digestion and absorption, the waste which is left out in the Paramoecium, it will go and pour in the contractile vacuole, and in the same way, it will move towards the surface and it will be removed out of the cell. So all the process is same like that of amoeba. The only difference is that they have cilia, Paramoecium has a definite shape, and they have a specific mouth cavity through which the food is taken inside. So it's very interesting to see that these single celled organisms also undergo nutrition on all the 5 steps in which the human beings undergo. So in my next video, I will be taking up the topic of digestive system in human beings. Okay, so all the 5 steps are same in human beings, but the difference is that we have a definite digestive tract, we have an alimentary canal, we have specific organs which are meant for digestion and for carrying out the other process. So that will be a very interesting class. I'm really excited to come up with the next video where we will discuss all about digestive system, the different glands which are associated with how the digestion is going on, how absorption takes place. Okay, so stay tuned, click the bell icon. Okay, when you are subscribing to the channel, just click to the bell icon. Only then you will be getting the notification of the videos which are coming. So children, if you are really benefited from my videos and you are getting a help in your studies, please share the link with other friends also. Okay, this is an earnest request from my side. So thank you so much for watching regularly, supporting me, encouraging me. So we will meet again in the next video and we will complete the topic of nutrition. So by the time, keep exploring, keep learning. Bye bye.